Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to the Sour Graps thing about Spring Break Again, which is a name for a silly little show that they do on Tuesdays occasionally, which is mostly NXT. And it's a thing. So I'm Alex Pulaski. With me, as always, is Kate, and we're going to do a silly review show of this silly NXT show.
This is the NXT post show for April 25th. Guys, get in your super chats, get in your humper chats at humperchats.com.
I was doing great. I don't know why I'd interrupt. I was doing fine. I don't know.
Because it's my thing, Alex. That was one of your stronger ones out the gate. But I will also remind people to support us on twitch.tv/FightfulGaming, where you can support us with your bits. And I'll remind you to head over to FightfulSelect.com for all the scoops you could possibly want. Vince McMahon back in power? Of course. We're getting Omos and Seth Rollins. We're throwing away women's segments with no problem. Of course he's back. Read more about it. Read more about CM Punk stopping by Raw and what was definitely not a publicity stunt of any sort. And you get all the great scoops you could possibly want. You get Sean's Q&A. You get me and Alex doing pay-per-view post shows. Guys, $5 a month. Are you kidding? What a bargain. If you want to be cool like 10,000 other people, because we're up to 10,000 subscribers again, you guys are awesome. Please join us at FightfulSelect.com. I'll just say off the bat, I missed a good portion of the front of the show. I've had a very, very, very taxing 24 hours. I'm okay. My family is okay. Normally I'm pretty vulnerable on the show, but it's not necessarily like my thing to get into. So I'm not going to go there, but we do get a lot of messages. We're blessed to get a lot of messages about how this can be a relief for people that are trying to just take a minute from real life. And I've said a couple times, and it's no truer than today, that that's true for me too. And I don't want to speak for Alex, but even being the ones to sing silly songs and do impressions, it's something I was really looking forward to today. I'm very tired. I didn't sleep a wink last night. It's been a very long day. And I was like, do I want to do the show? And I was like, I really do. I really, really do. Just want to come in here and goof off for a while. So you guys are always so supportive and willing to share with us when you've had tough days. And I've had a really, really long 24 hours. Everything is okay, thankfully, in my family. But I just want to say that I appreciate you guys being here to do this with. And I appreciate Alex, who I bailed on yesterday. If I had to bail on today, he wouldn't have blinked. So I just appreciate the whole Fightful crew. I appreciate Rob setting up the broadcast and Luis keeping this place safe so I can come in here and exhale, and Sean letting us have a playground to do it. So very thankful for you guys tonight. I'm very thankful to unpack what was for a special, and I only saw the last 45 minutes of it, Alex. Like, we got to wind up to a 5-month story that ultimately meant nothing. We got a lot of championship retentions from what I understand. A lot of championship retentions, but we do have the draft coming up. So we'll see if anything happens more there. So, but I'll throw it back over to you. I did miss the first like half to 45 minutes of the show, I would say. I missed why Pretty Deadly was in a ball pit. I'll put it that way.
So first of all, let's start with some of these super chats.
Okay,
W. Pringle says, Alex the Amazing, Kate the Cavalier, Papa Paul, Elizabeth the Extraordinary, Great Bearded One, Alphabet's Man, Sisters, Luis, and all the SGS. Hey yourself, JW Pringle. Papa Paul saying, Godfather Alex, Consigliere, Kate, JW, the Executioner Pringle.
Daughter. I get Consigliere. Come on.
Of this particular family, you are the consigliere.
Fair enough.
All the members of the SGS, let us make an NXT an offer they can't refuse. I'm gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
That was quite good.
It's an oldie but a goodie. You can't do it anymore because so many of these kids nowadays have never seen The Godfather.
shameful.
Look how they massacred my boy. I love The Godfather. I love Brando. Yes.
Based on your NXT wrestling tastes, I would never have guessed you liked The Godfather.
I know, it's weird, right? Never would have thought. Never would have thought.
Thank you for all your support, by the way. I see all the chats. You guys are awesome. Paid and unpaid. I just appreciate the love.
Jambeard says, the SGS love you, Kate. Hugs.
Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Chi-Town Spurs says, just wondering if yesterday's raw sour graps being especially sour has anything to do with a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Butler. It has less to do with Jimmy Butler than it has to do with Mike Budenholzer, who is the worst ever NBA coach to win a championship and should be fired before Game 5. It has very little to do with Jimmy Butler and more to do with the man who refuses to double team the one guy who knows how to score on the Miami Heat. But,
sure,
whatever.
It could be that. Or, Alex, it could be the fact that this company has had 2 titles.
Yes, you're right.
With 2 different wrestling shows on Mondays and Fridays, unified on the same guy, but they weren't really unified on the same guy because he was walking around with 2 titles the whole time. And they've had 3 perfect stories to split it off of him for, okay? They had the Drew story, which should have happened at Clash at the Castle. And if you're not going to do it there, they then built out an 8-month story with Sami Zayn, which they didn't do that in Montreal in his hometown because it had to be Cody, and then it wasn't Cody. So they never split the titles. And then for the Bloodline side of it, there's this really great story that you could tell of Roman having lost one of his titles, absolutely going mad, keeping the other title, doing anything he can to protect it, turning his back on the Usos, turning his back on Solo Sikoa, and then you're not in the 3rd inning of this effing story. You're at least in the 6th inning of this effing story. But instead, you know what they did, Alex?
Well, they do.
They said, we understand that we only have 1 champion and 2 titles on him, and he's a part-timer, and he's not even here, and he basically became a part-timer after we gave him both titles. They said, we're going to give you a 3rd title so that Cody Rhodes can chase a title that he has absolutely no connection to after saying he's going to finish the story and after talking about the title that his dad never won. He's going to go after this completely meaningless title. We can talk about NXT. I just had to skip Sour Graps yesterday.
Yeah,
and I was
so she wasn't
sour
around to do that one. Yeah, no, I wasn't around to do that one.
I needed a moment.
Yeah, it's true. Meet Enormous. Much love to you, Kate. We're all here for you, partner.
Thank you. You guys rule.
T. Kane says, I have never watched an episode of NXT in my life, but I come here pretty much every Tuesday for the puns and the people.
Thank you. We are nothing if not puns and great people.
Organized crime puns, mob puns.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Don't get us banned, please.
Like, basically, I want to see a lot of sleeps with the Bobby Fishes. Like, that's, I need to see a lot of that. But Sol Ruka Brazi. Like, give me a lot of Goodfellas stuff, a lot of Godfather stuff.
Cannoli puns.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. Yeah, mostly of that.
No K words, no M words.
No. So
you can say war here. We're not gonna be like anti-war raiders.
LOL World Heavyweight Participation Trophy. That is exactly what it is.
You had an 8-month story with Sami Zayn where you could have split the titles and it would have been perfect, and it was like the most monumental moment, and you set it up perfectly at Royal Rumble. Then you booted it, and I was told it got booted to be a lesser story for Cody Rhodes, and then they didn't give it to Cody Rhodes. I'm convinced Brock Lesnar is winning that title.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Kim Gray says, love you, Kate. You're okay too, Alex.
Thank you, Kim.
Jade Pringle says, no better be messing with my sister. Red Ross, you're the best, Kate. We got your back.
Thank you, JW Pringle, my extremely real brother.
One Lieutenant Photo says Kate heart emoji.
Thank you.
Jambeard says
White
tonight
girl heart hands back at
we
you.
are the KAS, the Kate Appreciation Society. And G
podcast entertainers.
Chibo says, WWE gonna WWE. I love you too, onions.
Thank you.
And then Jambeard says, feuds that go on forever. Rock and Austin, Bret Hart and Goldberg, Orton and Cena, Kate and her router.
Jericho and everyone, but yes. See, my router is behaving. I just try to reboot it before I come on so that it behaves.
Yes. Yeah. So, all right. There was a random picnic to start off the show. This is when you were like, hey, I'm stuck on my train. I'm not going to be able to get back.
That was the other thing. My train was like 15 minutes late. And I was like, well, glad I told Alex I'm not going to see it.
You said to me, I'm stuck. My train is stuck. I'm not going to be able to see this. And I said, you are so lucky you don't have to watch this.
There was
the opening picnic extended montage of everybody who's not on the show doing picnic stuff. But then,
and we're not doing the "you're lying to me" gimmick thing, right?
No, not this. No, not this one. Not this.
Okay.
One.
Yeah, I saw too much of it for that.
Everybody is having like doing random picnic stuff, barbecuing, playing little games. For example, Nathan Frazier is teaching Wendy Chu and the Brazilian one who refused to help Elektra Lopez cheat. I forget her name. Valentina something?
Valentina Feroz?
Yeah, her. So Nathan Frazier is teaching them how to play cornhole, which is like, you throw the beanbags in the little board with there's a hole in it.
Yeah, I'm a white girl that's been to a wedding. That's like the thing.
Did you know? Also, this, for some reason, I don't know why, this show goes out worldwide. And I don't know if they play that shit in Indonesia or whatever. He's teaching them how to play cornhole. Why Nathan Frazier's an expert, I don't know. He's like, so the object of this game is to get the little beanbag in the hole over there and just throw it. And Wendy Chu says, wow, I don't know. That seems impossible. Speaking of impossible, do you think it's possible for Andre Chase to beat Bron Breakker tonight? And they did that with every match on the card at least twice in more and more confoundingly obvious, like really bad segue ways. And it made me so angry because obviously you're the queen of the segue. and nobody else could get this right.
Look, I'm not expecting everyone to have my gift, okay? But I am expecting them to do a little better than that. Like, you have writers, allegedly, I'm told. I'm told there are writers that write the show.
Yeah, it was really bad. Ivy Nile was the champion of arm wrestling. Whoa, that was pretty impressive. You know who's really impressive? That Carmelo Hayes, like stuff like that, like really seriously terrible.
Can we also talk about like spring break is not a picnic?
Like I guess like they're
like
out
sexy at the beach though, right?
But I guess they didn't want to have them like drive an hour to Tampa. Like they just did it in a local park in Orlando. You know what I mean?
When I think spring break, I'm not like, oh, sick, let's go on a picnic.
Right. But anyway, so the Javier Bernal was like, I would have won that arm wrestling championship if I had been in it. And then, oh, look, free hamburger. The last hamburger in this bowl of hamburgers.
Did Otis come by just to puke it up?
And goes to go and get it, and then he slaps away a person who's also going for it, but that person happens to be Dabba-Kato.
So then good. I was so nervous he was gone.
Dabba-Kato chases Javier Bernal through the entire picnic, jumping over people, knocking over other people.
Finally, the feud everyone's been asking for, Dabba-Kato versus Javier Bernal.
Running past and breaking up the gaggle of women who are arguing over who is going to win the women's title match. Finally, he catches up with Javier Bernal and throws him in a fountain. And then he splashes at the water angrily, and that's the end of this ridiculously long thing that they were doing before the show started.
Sounds like I missed a banger.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Wendy Chu in her first TV appearance in months, it's true. And the women tag team champions, Alba and Isla, were just hanging out at this picnic with their titles on their shoulders.
Okay, that I saw, and I don't know if someone photoshopped it or if it was real. I think it was a Photoshop. And if it was a Photoshop, it's hilarious that they were drinking a Prime Energy.
No, that I believe that was a.
It was real funny.
It feels like that would have been it. So there was a trunk match. Started out the night. There was a 1947 Dodge something with the world's largest trunk. Because really, you got to go back to the days of the really big trunks.
Yes.
You can't fit two grown males in a normal, regular trunk.
Yeah, there's two dudes with this one, so you got to.
Yeah. So Jambeard says tonight they are the pretty fishy. Ricardo says sleeping with the fishes in Seattle.
I mean, there's no wrestling in that, but we'll take it.
That's fine. Jimmy Pringle says Claudio cast cake the cannoli. Ryan
really
Sullivan
good.
says Greg the Hammer St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Very good.
Matt Gray Sky Roman's Reigns is the Departed because he never shows up to work. Ricardo Last Man Nest Name TBD says the Macho Fish Randy Salmon. And
we can just do fish puns.
Says Dick Tracy Smothers.
Oh, that's really good.
And Ryan Ben says the Hurt Family Business or Johnny Mafioso. Now this was also it was a trunk match in that you had to put your opponents, both of them,
in the trunk.
You could in the trunk. They had to both get in the trunk. Apparently, the rule is that once you put one of them in the trunk, he can then get out of the trunk if he wants to. You have to put both of them in the trunk and shut the door where both of them are in the trunk.
I mean, that's what the gimmick is with ambulance matches, I guess. So that's
right.
Comparable.
Right. So, the match is, it's a hardcore match. Sure. But it's also a spring break-again match. So it's a spring break street fight. Like it's not called this, but it is. You know how they have a Miracle on 34th Street fight and there's like a table with like Christmas cookies on it? Or
not Halloween. There's one with candy.
A trick or street fight where inevitably somebody wears a pumpkin for a hat. Like, so they didn't announce it as such, but that's what this was, and that's why you saw pictures of the Yes Boys in a kiddie pool filled with ball pit balls. Because when I think spring break again, I think a kiddie pool filled with ball pit balls.
Okay, you can just tell that the median age for the show is like 60 because when people think spring break, they're not like most people I think are thinking like a spring vacation for college kids. And since this is basically a bad high school show, you'd think they would lead in that direction.
So both Yes Boys got put into the pit of despair. I mean, ball pit balls.
Same thing.
And then Stax took a boogie board, and also known as a body board. It's a boogie board on the West Coast. I think it's a body board on the East Coast. Whatever. Ran and jumped and did a senton while holding it underneath him. A boogie board is made out of foam.
Correct.
So it actually would lessen the blow of the person you're doing the move to by giving a cushion between your back and their body. But that doesn't matter because also he used it as a weapon, like he was hitting people with it with a chair, but using a boogie board. Most maddeningly, Booker T kept referring to it as a surfboard over and over again, even after he was corrected by Vic Joseph multiple times.
Man, Vic Joseph's really trying his best over there.
He really is.
I I'm so glad and sad I missed it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
What was more impactful, the particle board skateboard that fell apart or the boogie board?
I'm gonna say the boogie board somehow, but yeah.
By the mere fact that it stayed together, I'm assuming.
Right. So the Yes Boys were able to put Stacks in the car by himself in the trunk,
But
and then they went to get Tony D, and so they raked the eyes of Tony D, about to put him in the car as well. Yes Boy 1 is holding Tony D. Yes Boy 2 opens the trunk. And Stacks has a fire extinguisher, like a full regulation size fire extinguisher with the hose and the big nozzle thing, and he blows it in Yes Boy 1's face. Somebody says, "Where the hell did he get a fire extinguisher?" I'm guessing in the trunk. I'm guessing it was in the trunk. It would be really hard for him to get it from anywhere else, since he was in the trunk. But anyway, so he climbs out of the thing. They throw one guy who got hit with a crowbar out from Tony D. Yes Boy 2, I think, gets thrown in the car first. Then they double choke slam thing. Yes Boy 1 through a table, and then put him in the trunk, and then close the trunk. And then they drive off with them. And later, there's a scene where they're driving along and they go, "Hey, you hear something?" And there's guys in the trunk. They should know that. And so they pull over, and Stacks gets out of the vehicle, goes to the trunk, and then slams the trunk closed a lot of times, and then gets back in the car, and then they keep driving. At the end of the evening, after all of the matches are done, we go back to them at the end of a dock looking into the water, implying that they have thrown Pretty Deadly into the water deep enough. I mean, they're at the end of a very, very short dock.
Correct.
So at most, that thing's 6 feet deep. Deep enough? Sure, yes. And so now it looks like they sleep with the fishes. And so I think the most obvious call-up on the Friday's draft is Pretty Deadly. Yeah, because they've been killed off from NXT.
I saw was implicitly kind of said that is gimmick infringement on Impact Wrestling. Mm-hmm. Impact Wrestling just kills off anybody, mm-hmm. and half the time they end up coming back, which is just funny. Mm-hmm. So I mean, good for them. They're a really good tag team. They're great in ring tag team. I think they did good work in the US NXT. I don't think they needed it necessarily. Mm-hmm. They were doing really well in the UK from what I know. Mm-hmm. But I can't argue with the idea that they're ready. I just worry about, of course, how you always worry about how different writing staffs are going to handle them.
Surely know that a Vince McMahon shadow-led WWE main roster is going to treat such a gimmick with respect, and ensure it won't be presented in a horribly problematic way.
No, definitely not. Why would you ever think that? Other than everything he's ever written in that vein.
Good. And Elise points out that Stacks was bumping his ass off tonight, and Pretty Deadly taught an atomic drop onto a chair right in the ass during
Stacks
the picture-in-picture.
Probably best in-ring attribute is his selling, I feel like. And it's come a really, really long way, which is important for a guy that's in his role in particular. Mm-hmm. When I go to Excite, sometimes there'll be people leading workshops before for the wrestlers. And it always blows my mind when they talk about selling, because it basically just means bumping harder than you've ever bumped in any other way. And when I watch wrestling, the one thing I can never wrap my head around, there's a lot I can't, a 450 splash. I'm like, how? But just the idea of let me just willingly throw myself to the mat is a bananas thing to see out of context. And then in context, it makes a lot more sense because you're making your opponent look good. But that's a really difficult thing because it's a very unnatural thing to do as a human being. So I feel like that takes a lot of wrestlers a lot of time to fully pick up on. And when you see it come along in developmental, that's actually something that's really, really fun. Great headlines from Tiffany Stratton that went up. She said that she has more things that she wants to improve on, and one of them is her selling. And I just love seeing that in general. I like seeing wrestlers be like, I have these things I want to work on. But it's a really difficult thing in wrestling to get right, and it's like the most important thing. So kudos to Stacks for that, because it's probably the most crucial thing in this lackey role that he's kind of in to get right.
Yeah. Alpha Bill says, get ready for an epic Yes Boys versus Maximum Male Models feud. What Maximum Male Models? Mansois and Marseille haven't been seen on television in a month.
And in a ring longer. And even longer, yeah.
Or longer. I don't know. I think the last time we heard him do anything was when they said they were not cosmetically cleared, which was a fantastic line, and they immediately took them off of TV afterwards. Vince, I think, just wants to redo his horrible, lazy, fat guy with a hot girl storyline he did with Otis and Mandy Rose in 2020. He wants to do that again with Otis and the leggy blonde. See,
that is lazy, but I didn't hate that storyline because I think Otis is like, his comedic timing is very, very good. Right. I get what you're saying in that in Vince's head, he's making fun of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was actually presented all right. And I felt like because it was like pandemic era too, that it bled over into, I was like, that's the perfect storyline for this very weird non-crowd wrestling world that we were in. I don't need to see them trudge it out again. I would like him just to split off of Chad Gable and Gable to get the Creeds, or Gable to go on a singles run or whatever. But they were killing it.
Maximum Male Models. It's funny because he's fat and the girl is hot. And the fat guy would never get the girl, you see. So it's funny. Because he's so fat.
More than that. It could be like
it can't be. It can't be if Vince is in charge.
Okay.
It can't be.
I was trying to negotiate with Vince, but
no.
That was an alarmingly accurate Vince's and Gorilla impression.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Get the women's match out of here.
Put
Seth Rollins out there and take away his microphone.
Louisville says Frankie the Squealer Yuta. Jambeard says Alex Polanski. It's Meyer Lansky. And Kate, the King of New York City, Elizabeth.
Kind of was.
Alpha Bill says Cosa Nostrodes.
That's very funny.
This is very good. Alpha Bill says Vig Joseph. What's the Vig? Paul Elizabeth says spring break again, your kneecaps.
Yeah, see, my dad gets it.
Alpha Bill says Bada Bing E. And he says, I'm definitely done now. No, I don't think you are.
No.
One Lieutenant Photo says Triple Hitman. Triple H Man? Triple H Hitman. Jambeard says LA Confidential Night. That's good. And insert clever Tegan Knox pun says Tegan Knox stock and 2 smoking barrels.
Remember how they brought Tegan Knox back? And
no, hey, what happened to her?
That was neat.
Yep. Jambeard says Dexter Tight Lips Lewis. Loomis. Luis. He actually wrote Luis. And Luis says, why the fuck am I related to the serial killer? I don't know.
I don't know either, but you are.
Mm-hmm. So Shot Kid says, here's a few. Don Mora Corleone. Lone Shark Boy. Mark Henry Hill. Samoa Joe Pesci. Motor City Tommy Guns.
Well played.
Tiffany showed up and did a monologue about why she was going to win.
She was going to win because she had a Tiffany epiphany that she's better than everyone else in NXT, and it's her time. Indi Hartwell, she needed Dexter Loomis to help her win. And Roxanne, she can't win because she has anxiety, and anxiety makes you a loser around here. Toodles. That's why I didn't see it, but that's what I decided her model was.
Meet Norma says it's a new A. So Duke Hudson gave Andre Chase a pep talk backstage about how he's going to go out there and do it, win it, prove yourself, prove it to yourself, win one for the university. Literally told him to do that, and of course he went out there and lost in 2 minutes. Bron Breakker demolished Andre Chase. It was everything that it needed to be, and that's it.
So what did Duke Hudson do? Anything?
No, he just stood ringside, didn't do anything. He carried his trophy around.
Was there any like body language about like, I'm not helping you? Or was it just like he just stood there?
I mean, that would require me to watch the match. And it was so very short.
Sure. Bron just speared someone. Just speared him.
No,
I'm assuming.
No, he did the gorilla press front power slam and then put him in the center recliner. Because that's his heel finisher now.
The Breaker Lounger. The
Breaker Lounger. That's right. The Breaker Lounger. That's true. Yeah. And so he beat him real good.
Nice.
Bron, I'm assuming you're wondering, because who wouldn't? Bron is now just wearing a black singlet that says Breaker on his belly.
That checks. He's a heel, so
he's a heel now. So he has
to wear black.
He has to wear black.
Like, that's why. Gonna make a Dynamite comparison, but like that's what works for me so well about Bryan Danielson flipping heel and face is he's just like the exact same dude, but he's like more of a dickhead. Like I like that it's not like I've changed my identity. I don't mind a gear change, but
yeah. Alpha Bill says, Vaughn, what do you mean I'm funny? Like funny how? What do you mean? I'm like a clown to you?
Werner, still managed by Robert Stone.
Eli says Kaiser Soze Sokoa. Matthew Plus says the only crime here is giving Katie a mic.
Thanks for the monies.
And Jambeard says Kate and Alex are the public enemies.
It's true. We are.
Yep, we are. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why Luis highlighted this written down here. I don't know if somebody said this or what. Again, I tried very little. I try to pay attention to as little of what goes on in Chase U as possible. So it's something they could have said. It's been a hell of a ride. This is a teachable moment. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Oh, that's because Andre Chase tweeted that. That's what he said.
I wonder, are people getting called up or?
Oh my God! If you're gonna call up Andre Chase, I'm gonna fucking plots.
I was thinking Duke, because there's an easy write-off there.
I'm so angry. Shank McMahon from Larry B. Dupree's the third.
Hi, Larry B. Dupree. I don't know if we've gotten a lot of chats for you, so if you're a first-time chatter, thank you.
Yeah. Jambeard says the only thing different about heel and face Brian is heel Brian finally wearing the BCC hoodie.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
He's just that's also like that's an unfair comparison though, because he's legitimately the best wrestler in the world, or like at least the top 3. So when you go out there and you do the cocky, I'm the best wrestler in the world, and you actually are, that makes it really easy to put between face and heel.
Yeah. Meet Norma says Punk's finisher, the go to sleep with the fishes.
Oh my God, Kent is so mad about it.
So mad. So Dragunov tweeted out something about, calling out Dijak. And he said he showed a picture of him chopping Dijak's chest. And he says, how's your chest feeling? And so then tonight, Dragunov showed up for work, even though he doesn't have a match. And I don't understand why he did that. Like, you don't have to be here, dude. You don't have to sit in catering for this. You're not on the card. It's a pay-per-view.
Bullied him into showing up anyway.
I don't know why, but he has to be there. So then Dijak attacked him, and beat him up and made him lay underneath one of the garage door things they have backstage, and then dropped it on his chest. And then he tweeted out a picture of that and said, my chest is feeling fine. How's yours? So
okay, I'm very excited for that feud.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I've said this out loud, but a Danielson Dragunov tag team would rule for a lot of reasons, not to mention you could call him the American Dragunov. That'd be very fun. That's gonna be a blast because Dragunov is so great. One of my favorite. Like, I don't ever feel like Dragunov's a little guy in a match against big guys because of his style. So, like, Dragunov Walter is masterpiece. I know you hated the ending, I get it. But like, unbelievable match. And I just feel like so many of those matches are built around size differential. And there's obviously in play, but like with Dragunov, it just never feels like he's too overcome in a way that makes him look pathetic. It's more like cerebral and strategic of like, all right, this is this guy's strengths. How do I get around them? And I feel like Dijak will be really, really good with that. So that should be fun. If they let them have the match that they're capable of having and it's not agented to be like, ha ha ha, Dragunov short, make him look like a chump.
It's going to be a great match. Apparently, the beatdown was stopped by a bunch of referees and also Oni Lorcan, who was back working at the PC, but not a wrestler. And I'm like, just let him wrestle. If he wants to. If he still wants to wrestle, he should still be wrestling because Biff Busick fucking rules.
Correct.
And Oni Lorcan, throw him up. Oni Lorcan fucking rules, and I miss him. And they should totally have a Dijak versus Oni Lorcan match next week, just for the fuck of it.
You have Dan Barry there protecting Dominic. Hire him for backstage at NXT. Sol Ruka gets attacked this episode. Just have security. And have it be Dan Barry. He deserves it.
So now we get into the FU HBK portion of the evening.
Did he book a tribute self to him spot that I missed?
No, it just awful overbooked finish. Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyria was over very quickly. It was a very short match. It ended when when Cora Jade brought her little black kendo stick into the ring, wrapped with electrical tape because she's so hardcore. And the ref grabbed it and she started yanking it away from him and he started pulling it. She had a full tug of war game with the ref.
Tug of war game.
Yes. And then he finally pulled it away and turned his back fully so he could set it down outside the ring. Lyra Valkyria came in with her spinning heel kick, which Cora Jade ducked and then hit her DDT.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the spinning heel kick took out the ref.
No.
Gosh. That's not the worst overbooked ending. It's just why even? I don't even know, man. Why even have the match? Like, just. I mean, people are saying Lyra Valkyria is getting called up. Like, if that's her swan song. She's great. Like, she's been really good in the ring.
She's great. She's absolutely could work on the main roster.
I've been watching a lot of House lately.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Do you think she's, like, allergic to electrical tape? And that's what's so threatening about the black kendo stick?
I don't know.
If you cover up a kendo stick, doesn't that take away the, hey, you're getting cracked over the head with bamboo thing?
Right. It just becomes a lightweight stick.
Yeah, that seems real dumb. Like, the whole thing with a kendo stick is, and for wrestling purposes, it's like, listen to the sound and the impact it makes because it's splitting bamboo. If you just cover it in black tape, it's just
like there's one of the things that made me the most and has made me the most angry about like simple wrestling psychology is when somebody would attack Roman Reigns, like Shield era and post Shield era meaning wearing the SWAT vest.
Of course,
era,
yeah.
Roman Reigns, and they would just go to town on his torso with a kendo stick, and he'd be selling it. Like
you have
while wearing a SWAT vest, if you were being hit by a kendo stick, it would feel like being hit by a fly swatter. Like it would do no damage to you whatsoever. The where it hurts is it's the bamboo that's pinching your skin. So if you are bare chested, or
and it splinters against
it splinters against you, all that stuff. But if you're wearing protection, it doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah, that's real dumb.
Anyway,
that's like when people go to hit someone with a broken, like if someone has a cast on and they are like, oh, they have a broken wrist, let me slam it. And it's like, yeah, but they got a cast on, dude. Silliness.
Anyway, so that was it. Cora Jade won because of that. Before we get into the weird middle of the show NXT Championship match.
Yeah, what the F and S?
They did that with Grayson Waller versus Bron Breakker on their TV special, whatever the hell that was. They did that too. Like, because Grayson Waller having his contract, he's not allowed to main event.
The hour guy.
I don't know.
For someone who wants to go viral, 9 o'clock ain't it, dude?
Yeah. Shot Kid says Mafiosa from today's AEW Dark might be the only person I wish was in NXT with Tony D and Stacks. I didn't see her match, but I just saw a film of her doing this before the match.
Good stuff.
Let's see. Jesse Ozog is an 8-month member and a Fightful trainee, and says Harlem Heat Nights or Harlem Boogie Nights.
Yes. Even or an and situation works there.
No, I'm not doing that in my own Matthew Plus, but thank you. I'm just not going to say that out loud, but thank you for the donation. I'm just not going to say that out loud.
Oh, what I always do is just switch his.
Yeah,
be like,
no.
Matthew Plus says, "Oh my God, Kate looks so great today."
I get the joke, but I'm just not going to say that one.
Oh yeah, no, don't say that one. But that's very funny. We're laughing.
Matthew Plus says elevator to the Luke Gallows. Jambeard says pretty deadly boy Floyd. Matthew Plus says Knight of the Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Jambeard says Cody Rhodes to perdition. Matthew Plus says New Jack Perry. Matthew Plus says LAO Confidential. Ocon. Get it? The great Ocon.
That's really good.
Larry B. Dupree says Dick Tracy Smothers. We already had one, but I don't care. It's really good. Matthew Plus says the Maltese Falcon Arrow. And T-Electric Mayhem says Merry Christmas, you filthy road warrior animal. And Matthew Plus also says the Sting. Ba-do-do-do-do, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I
also love Bill Alphabet's question. It's a good question. It comes from Bill Alphabet that says, "What is Booker T?
Why is Booker T? How is Booker T?
This ain't Jeopardy. It's just a question. What is with this? Oh yeah, that is going on.
He's doing too much of that.
He has never watched NXT, and he's there every week, which I actually applaud. If we could do that on a review show, gangbusters. Yeah. But no, we watch it.
Yeah.
This kid, let me tell you right here, he's got some heart.
Jambeard says, I guess the argument for taping the stick is a regular kendo stick causes a bit of whiplash to it, whereas the taped one is a bit more solid. Yeah, but not that much more solid. It's just got electrical tape on it.
No, and part of the wrestling fun of a kendo stick is the sound it makes.
Yeah.
And the splintering, it's actually kind of brilliant because I believe the splintering diffuses the pain because it takes up more surface area, which is what the game's all about.
Right.
But it leaves these nasty marks on a wrestler. So it looks good. The pain is, I don't want to say less because people have said those are really nasty, but it isn't worse. So you're also taking the wrestling fun out of hearing like the thwack and the visual of the.
Yeah, Vic Joseph at one point says about Booker T. Vic Joseph said, "What is going on here tonight?" And Booker T says, "It's Spring Breakout, man. It's Spring Breakout," which is not the name of the show.
So he couldn't answer what was going on because he doesn't know the name of the show that he's announcing.
No. So
what if I came in here and was like, "It's the Sour Apples review show"?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. NXT Championship match that went on halfway through the show. And at this point I was like, oh, well, if you're doing this halfway through the show, then the main event has to be the women's match and you're going to do a title change.
Of course. And you're definitely not starting it at 10 p.m. for the 15-minute overrun.
No. But Carmelo Hayes versus Grayson Waller, I hated for the first a quarter of it.
Okay.
Because Grayson Waller, I will not accept as being the only guy who's ever faced Carmelo Hayes to be smart enough to realize if you just get rid of Trick Williams, it'll be a lot easier to win a match. I do not accept Grayson Waller as wily veteran. I do not accept it. He's a fucking arrogant son of a bitch who only thinks about himself and does not plan ahead with strategy for matches.
Well, no, he did the Bret Hart.
I know. I did not accept that either. I do not accept that character as being smart.
But he is chicken shit too, and I feel like chicken shit.
True.
Leans into strategy like that of like, I'm going to win by taking the easiest shortcut. Right. So I actually can accept it. The issue isn't that he did it. It's that he's the only one. Right. He's the only one in like 2 years of seeing this act that was like, I wonder if I take out his stooge,
right,
what might happen. I wouldn't say it's a big mistake, but I would say he shouldn't be the only person to have ever thought of that.
He just went under the ring, threw a chair into the ring, which Carmelo caught out of the air.
That was so cool.
And then the ref was like, "Hey, you're not allowed to have that." And Carmelo Hayes is like, I literally stopped it from hitting somebody in the 5th row.
Yeah.
So maybe give me a break, ref. And so the ref had his back turned. So then Grayson Waller took another chair and then hit Trick Williams with it, and they had to take Trick Williams to the back. He was so horribly damaged.
Carmelo looked cool as hell catching that chair.
Yeah,
the amount of air he got on. There was a really nice sequence in there. I can't remember what the actual move was, but he had like Montez Ford levels of hang time on whatever it was. He's someone that I feel like it was dumb to put the title on, and they should have just called him up.
Right. I mean, I don't disagree with you,
Alex. As you know, my toxic trait on Twitter is never proofreading any of my shit.
Right.
I tweeted, not everyone needs a title reign. You should just call him up. But because I never proofread my text and I was walking my dog, I wrote, cut him up. And our own social media fella, Kyler, was like cut him up. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Call him up.
Yeah. Like with a knife. It is one of the things that, like, I understand this is what pro wrestling has always been. But I don't like things that have been a certain way for 50 years and refuse to change.
Well, things that don't make sense and are that.
Right. But this, just to me, I'm just tired of it. Especially in WWE, but also everywhere.
Sure.
The heel cheats to win all the time, and I fucking hate it. Sometimes the heel should just be the better wrestler. That's one thing I hate. The other thing is the babyface. Oh, the heel has done something has worked over a limb of the. How can he even stand? He can't use his left arm for the whole fucking match. I want to see you at 100% and you at 100%. No tricks, no shenanigans, just fucking fight. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. Now, if it's like, hey, the one guy realizes, oh, I'm going to work over this limb and you're going to have to work against it the whole time, fine. But if it's just done in a way to just lazily give another obstacle for the babyface to overcome, I'm fucking tired of it. I want to watch two guys just fight, and I never get to see it. So as soon as Carmelo Hayes is the babyface now, immediately, oh, Grayson Waller's been working over that left knee. How will Carmelo Hayes ever overcome the fact that his left knee is slightly injured? Like, I don't want to watch Carmelo Hayes hobble around and overcome the odds. I want to watch Carmelo Hayes fucking do amazing shit. Now, at the end of the match, he started doing amazing shit again. But for the middle portion of it, it's just like Grayson Waller talking shit while putting him in a bad single leg crab. And I'm like, that's not my idea of fun wrestling to watch. The match near the end became great, but I don't like the middle part where I've got to watch a guy pretend to go, ouch.
You know what we don't get enough of in that vein? Because it inherently makes sense for a bad guy to go after the face's weakness. We don't get enough of the face just expecting that and defending that. Like, the face should be like, he's going to go after my knee the whole time. I'm going to keep my knee protected.
Right.
Like, that makes sense. But you know what the other thing is, Alex? Sometimes it doesn't matter how much you work over a certain part. It's not it's not working in your favor. You know what I mean? True. Yeah. You could be working something over and over and over again, and it's just not doing what you need it to do. Sometimes you need a little help with that.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you write for NXT and you're writing a picnic segment, you should watch my segues because this is how it's done. Bluechew, baby.
The nights are getting longer, but that breeze isn't the only thing that's getting stiff. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Bluechew. We all know that confidence can take you far in life. That's especially true in the bedroom, especially when it's time to step up to the plate. Bluechew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at Bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers. Once you're approved, you'll receive the prescription in days. No doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. The packages arrive discreetly, but your package will not be discreet at all. We got a special deal for you. Get Bluechew free when you use our promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That hush money for the mailman. I mean, and honestly, he's not going to know what he's bringing you, but word's going to get around town, I'm sure. Bluechew.com, promo code FIGHTFUL. Get your first shipment free. What do you have to lose?
With all the money you're saving on Bluechew, you could throw $5 a month to Fightful Select. You could be cool like 10,000 other wrestling fans. Fightful Select subscribers could sell out an arena, Alex. It's true. You could sell out Arthur Ashe with just Fightful Select subscribers. Don't you want to go to Grand Slam?
Like we'd have to like pay for their plane tickets. A lot of them.
The point is, we have a lot of subscribers. Alex,
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about logistics here.
Subscribe to Fightful Select. Get all of Sean's scoops. Get the Q&A show. Get the bonus edition of shows like Ask Rhapsody, and the list goes on from the list and your boy. Get Alex and I doing pay-per-view post shows. Get Alex doing his AEW Rampage watch along while reviewing SmackDown. Or on Saturday nights doing alternate commentary when Rampage is on, not at its normal slot. Lots and lots and lots and lots of value there. So please, please, please check it out. Anytime CM Punk breathes, it's a headline. So Sean will have all the accurate updates on that information as well. And hot off the press, breaking news. There's a new show. It's a morning show called In the Weeds on Fightful Overbooked. I encourage you to go check it out. It's with Joel and Jeremy, and it's really fun. Our own Ellie Albright of the Toothpaste Albrights was on the last episode. They had Deanna Purrazzo and Steve Macklin in their first two episodes, and there's a wrestler named Sam Adonis who I adore and have been championing He was, I think, formerly NXT. Everybody knows him as Corey Graves' brother. He's a lot more than that. But he's been doing a lot of really, really great work, and he's going to be on it tomorrow, and I just adore him. And he's an incredibly interesting interview, and my computer is there we go. My charger was off. He's a really, really interesting interview. He's traveled the world and has some really like refreshing takes in wrestling about not needing a contract to be successful and stuff. So I would just encourage you to check that out. That's going on, I think, at 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. But it's also just cool to we have like a morning show. There's all this wrestling content at night. So check that out on Fightful. Overbooked, and now I'm done plugging. Alex, back to you.
Somebody brought this up. Well, I also thought this. So the danger of you using normally using a 2-year-old ad read.
I actually just clicked the wrong one this time.
I know. But the one that you've been using a 2-year-old ad read for the longest time, that now you've updated it to one that he recorded in like October, because the nights are getting shorter now because the nights are getting longer. And so it's one of those things. I love the idea. I just want you to pick one at random forever, and we'll always be very confused by it. But I love how Sean records these things that are only used on this particular show, and he does it and tries to be like timely with
no, but
they'll never be.
I booted it. I had such a good segue. I was so into my worked over the body part, and then I didn't stick the landing. I'm like the Sami Zayn story. I just botched the landing. But in his defense, it says Bluechew October 2022. And I meant to click the one below it because now he has that neon sign gimmick in the back.
Yeah, it's true.
And the other one is just the blank room. And I was like, the neon sign ones. Those are the newer ones. Then I clicked the wrong one.
So, yes. Before we stopped talking about the match in the middle of the match. The match ends when Grayson Waller tries to do his and we've been consistent on this, horribly stupid.
Leave the ring to come back.
Leave the ring, run, jump, roll into the ring thing.
He has other really, like, he's good in the ring, and he has other moves that could be finishers. I don't know why this is a finisher.
I don't know why either. My monitor just decided to crap out entirely, so I have to. It's gone. Like literally just stopped working.
Wait,
so
what?
So now I have to like move the thing back over to my laptop screen and then set up my. Hello.
You look like you're in a real world confessional.
Hold on. This is not going to work. So we're just going to do this and then get the camera and move the camera back to my laptop camera. It's going to look like ass, but I got to buy a new monitor now. Isn't that great?
Oh no. Is it just the cable or anything?
No, it's not that. Nope. It's just the monitor is a really old monitor, and I've been I got it at Goodwill, and it now crapped out forever. So now I got to figure out how to do a second monitor. Anyway, hey everybody, I'm going to turn this off. This is awful. Yeah, better. Okay. So here I am in my terrible laptop computer.
So Grayson Waller leaves the ring to come back into the ring to do his finishing move.
When he does a little hop to get back in the ring, I don't know what he did, but he blew up his leg.
This is so great from the wonderful, wonderful Val Capone. I said it looked like a real world confessional, and she said, when Graps stop being sour and start getting real. This NXT kind of feels like a bad reality show, so it makes
does.
Sense.
Yeah, he hurt himself. I don't know if it was his ankle or his knee or whatever.
Yeah, that did not look good.
He hurt himself. That is a dumb move that he should stop doing. It's always been dumb, and that sucks that he got hurt because this was his best match. He did a lot of really great stuff.
He's really good in the ring. Like that's
he's getting better. I just hate his character. So I'm supposed to say his character. I'm getting worked. I don't enjoy watching him perform the character. That's not
it's because also with the booking, it's always built on a house of cards. He's like, oh, I'm so great. And we're like, no, you lose all the time. Like all the time. To Johnny Gargano, you lose here. It's just true.
That's the way it works. He was able to pick himself up and stand on one leg long enough for Carmelo to do his leaping leg drop.
Carmelo's so good. I'm like very excited to see what this championship brings, but I'm also like, there's nothing left for him to do here. I'm intrigued to see what he brings as a face, but I'm like, from a developmental standpoint, he's put it all together, and he's always had all the pieces, and now they're like extremely fluid, and they have been for a while. It feels like a very cohesive package. I don't know what you do with Trick is my only thing, especially if he's working face. This doesn't really work to have a guy cheating for you as a face, but
that's why Trick is going to turn on Carmelo, and they're going to have a protracted long feud, and Carmelo is going to do everything in his power to make Trick look like $1 million. I think the longest feud Carmelo Hayes has as champion is versus Trick Williams.
Probably. I just feel like there were so many times.
He's ready to go up tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and this is like, to your point, and not to compare everything to Black and Gold, but Black and Gold had a rhythm of like, this guy's getting called up next, so he's champion, this guy's on deck. And it kind of like fell into this cadence. And it doesn't have to operate that way, but it feels like now they have championships on people that are overdue. Right. And that feels weird. Like now it feels like the people that they developed, they're almost giving like nominal reigns to in a way. But in their fairness, like Carmelo's did come with a face turn, which we haven't seen him work yet. So I'm intrigued by that. But looking at it from a purely developmental standpoint, that guy has everything he needs to get called up yesterday. So
yes. There I am. I'm back.
You're here.
I'm here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Are we doing it? Hold on. I think I fixed my monitor. So now the monitor works. So now I just have to switch back to the other camera. This is
you're basically Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, I am. I'm just like him. All right.
You're thankfully not.
No, I'm not. Okay, great. Hey, look at that. It's back.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Back you got out of interrogation.
Yes, I did. Sweating under the hot lights.
See what Tony D'Angelo does to you?
Yes, it's true. So then Carmelo Hayes calls out Bron Breakker. I don't care if you don't want it. You're getting it. We're doing them. We're doing the match.
Okay.
Not to Carmelo Hayes. It's not.
I guess not. Jeez.
But we're doing the match. It's going to happen at Battleground in my neck of the woods, which I also feel like I don't trust anybody from New England who wears Lakers colors. That guy is definitely a problem. That guy's a front runner, and we don't like him anyway. So, but anyway, because he's from like the New England area. So then obviously from behind, Bron Breakker comes out, spears Trick Williams, gets rid of Carmelo to the outside, puts Trick Williams in the recliner for a bit, and then spears Carmelo Hayes through some particle board on the outside, right in front of the most shocked 4-year-old little girl in the world. Like she had a front row seat.
It never gets old for me. Never, little kids reacting to wrestling never gets old for me. It's just like, as dumb and cheesy as we like can overanalyze this stuff to be, little kids just having pure reactions is the best. And that was one of them.
Jambrick says, "Did you hit the monitor, Alex? That's how our generation fixes things." I actually had like a little HDMI L thing to like make sure that the HDMI cable doesn't poke out.
But what are all the letters? I don't know what these letters are. HDMI L. What do you got? Some alphabet soup over there?
I do. But that I realize now has been bent all to hell, and so it does not work anymore. So that is a piece of garbage.
Allie C. Sally Albright rules.
When in doubt, put it in rice. So that was a really cool thing, and it was a huge post-match angle. It was a big, really shocking thing that they did, where he speared him through the wall. They had to take him out on a stretcher. It was a big deal, and I was like, okay, if you're doing that match at the hour mark, and you're doing all of the post-match angle and everything, surely it is
Tiffany
so.
Stratton's going over.
Tiffany Stratton's going over. There's a big title change. We'll get back to that. Sol Ruka was walking around backstage.
This is my legacy. Thank you.
So true. Sol Ruka
she was surfing around backstage, Alex.
Walking around backstage. She said she hugged her bestie Danny Palmer goodbye and walked into a room and was dragged into it. And the NXT Anonymous Twitter account hid, so they did not see who attacked her. And that's it. And
it's just like, I enjoy a good comical overuse of NXT parking lot breakdowns. But when it's just like, oh, who could have taken her out? Couldn't be this person that I've had an issue with all this time.
Yeah.
You can't keep being surprised by it.
Right. Orion says, memo to rookies going NXT, hire a 24/7 bodyguard.
Yeah. Maybe Hank Walker shouldn't have become a wrestler.
Luis said, if Ja C was there, none of this shit would have happened.
Or Dan Barry. Both of them.
There was a Roxy video where she talked about being a little girl and being kind of into princesses, but not really, and wanting to be a wrestler instead. I don't know what else to say about it other than that. It was a cute little video. It was nice. It was good to see her being herself.
Into Disney princesses, but only a little.
It was all right.
I mean, better than like anything force fed. That's cool. Is she even getting called up?
I don't know. I guess
she took the pin tonight.
It was. We'll get into how ridiculously weird that match was.
Yeah,
when we talk about it. There's a lot to talk about that.
Wait. Sorry. Can we take a very brief timeout? I need to know what your shirt says.
Oh, it says I'm not lazy, and then on the bottom it says I'm HBK. No, it actually says I'm not lazy. I'm saving energy.
Oh, I like that.
And it has Pumbaa on it. My daughter calls it, "Oh, Daddy, you're wearing your piggy shirt."
Piggy Langston.
That's nice. I say he's a warthog. It's very different.
When I was a young warthog.
Anyway, Meet Norma says Athena would make you an O face you can't refuse. Also, like an offer. Also, a great example how to book a dominant heel. She'll beat that ass before, during, and after the bell.
MVP of ROH, Athena, killing it.
She might be the MVP of all of wrestling right now. She is absolutely murdering it as a top heel. It's everything.
There's nobody else doing what she's doing. It's so much fun.
Jambeard says these ad reads are about as timely as when Vince gets people to reference movies and TV shows from 20 years ago.
I clicked the wrong one.
So the grizzled young vets, each of them,
who are being forced to work for a sexual predator.
Each of them came out and said on Twitter, "We asked for our release on April 3rd. They have told us no. Our contracts expire October 15th. We are very excited for our next chapter. We'll tell you all about it on October 16th. They wrestled a match tonight on Level Up.
I mean, they're
we
still contracted.
Don't want to work for you anymore. Stop forcing.
Clearly they don't want to let them go because of Wembley. So put it in the condition of their release that they can't work Wembley. That's
fine.
it.
That's it. That's very easy. But also, like, are you trying to have them accidentally get injured so you can add injury time to their... Like, what do you have against Zach Gibson and James Drake?
They are great in the ring, and they'd be great at developing talent. But I get it.
We don't want to work for you anymore.
Yeah.
You are literally forcing them to wrestle on the C show of the developmental league.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So, Joe Coffey is backstage, and Joe Gacy comes up to him with
Joe.
He says, he's got new shades, and he says, I'm here alone, don't worry. And then immediately Ava Raine shows up, and Joe Coffey's like, I thought you were here all alone. He says, the dyad
decaf.
The dyad did not get pinned in your triple threat match, so they deserve a title shot against your boys Mark and Wolfgang. And he says, but how about you face me next week, and if you can beat Joe Gacy, then the dyad will never get another title shot as long as the Gallus is champions. But if I can beat you, then the dyad gets a title shot. This, to me, feels like a great way to write dyad off forever. Just have Joe Coffey beat Joe Gacy and have the dyad be like, you lost us a chance at the titles. Goodbye. But instead, they're wrestling on Level Up. Like, I don't know, man.
They might do both, because I also don't know. I know nothing about Level Up, which is probably irresponsible of me. But at the same time, like, do they film that in advance? Like, I don't know.
Tyler Bate wrestled on it tonight. So
they could still run that angle.
Katana,
also, I'm sick of you triple threat nerds being like, I deserve a title shot because I didn't get pinned. That's a wrestling trope I'm sick of, Alex.
Yeah.
Sorry, the odds were stacked against you. You knew that. It's a triple threat. Figure out a way to win, losers.
Yes.
Had your shot. Back of the line with you.
Katana and Caden have been doing really good work on there against random jobbers. Like, they're not allowed to, they're not being on regular TV, but they're working on.
There's no division.
Level Up. We'll talk more about this friggin' awful storyline. We'll talk about that. I'm going to skip ahead. Dragon Lee got interviewed about Noam Dar. It looks like they're progressing with that storyline. There's a Wes Lee and Tyler Bate watching backstage. Tyler Bate. Everyone was like, Tyler Bate's getting called up. Tyler Bate getting called up. No, probably not, because he's going to be in Wesley's corner for his match next week, and it looks like they're starting a Wesley and Tyler Bate. They're friends, but Tyler Bate wants one more shot at that NXT title, North American title deal. It does not feel like this, it does not feel like this is the segment you do if it's been known Tyler Bate's getting a call up in the draft.
Sure.
So that does make it feels weird. Gulak and Dempsey got interviewed. They're coming for Wesley's title. So that's what Tyler Bate is going to be in in Wesley's corner for Lee versus Gulak next week.
That'll be fun.
At one point, Gigi Dolan jumps backstage to grab the headset and says to JC Jane, you want to talk bad about my family? Well, next week when I'm beating you up, my little brother is going to be at ringside because he still supports me, even though you said some really mean things about the way I treated my brother. So that's the thing.
I thought this was actually really good because we talked about how like kind of overly harsh that was last week. And I really liked that. Number one, her delivery is really good. Number two, it was I don't want to say inventive way because it's not like something outside of the realm of wrestling, but NXT doesn't use this to set up promo a lot, so I liked that about it. And she closed the gap really well, I thought, of her saying, I did what I had to do to provide for my brother. Like, instead of being like, I left, she was like, no, I did what I had to do to give him a different life. She did that really effectively and really quickly. Her delivery is really good. She's the one that has come out of, and this isn't JC Jane's fault. She has a separated shoulder. There's not a lot she can do, but she has found, in a world of wackety wackadoos, some authenticity at a lot of the promos we've seen since the Shawn Michaels tribute spot to himself, number one. She's really found a way to pull some authenticity out of a very, very weird world. So that's a big plus for me that she's able to do that. And after a promo last week that I felt like kind of put her position and peril here, I thought she did a nice job on this, closing the gap.
Yep. Okay, what happened?
I'm just adjusting my chair.
I see how that works.
Some of us don't turn into mops.
Apparently not. There was a very extended video package for this Team Beach Estate versus Team Horse Jerkin match. And
Alex, I can't tell you enough that like the triple threat women's title match started at 10 p.m., which is when the show's supposed to go off the air. And this video package was so long. But if your video package isn't long enough, bluechew.com code 5.
It's oh man. This awful story has been going on for months.
Yeah.
And months. And
at least 6 months.
Months and months and months.
November, probably, right? We're coming into May.
At least. And so we finally get our big match. It's a mixed tag match. Beej comes down wearing a dress shirt, open to the navel, tucked into his trunks, which could not have been at all comfortable.
Not to wrestling.
No, but he took at least he took that off. But the match is whatever the match is. Oh God! At one point, like Kiana tags in Beej and says hit her, which is not how a mixed tag match in WWE works. Immediately, Fallon has to tag out, and Briggs has to come in. And Beej is walking toward a prone and backing away from him. Fallon saying, "I'm sorry, I've got to do it. And like, I'm pretty sure if he punches her right there, like his team gets disqualified.
Correct.
I don't know. It was just really weird. And anyway, Briggs runs in and beats him up. This match is as dumb as anything that's ever been on television. Then there's the purse that resurfaces, and the Beej is going to use the purse to hit Briggs. But he runs as fast as he can with the purse over his head and bangs into Kiana, who's standing on the apron, and throws the purse halfway up the ramp, and is very sad about having done that and apologetic to Kiana, who is screaming at him. And he turns around and gets leveled by a clothesline by his very best friend, Double Jerkin. And he gets pinned, and he goes outside and he says, and she tries to slap him. And he catches the wrist and says, "What are you doing? I love you." "I never loved you." and he walks away because he's really bad at cheating, and in a match. I mean, he doesn't really care about his infidelity problems. And then he turns around and there's double jerking, ready to hug it out.
If you're having trouble single or double jerking, bluechew.com, code Fightful. They broke up 2 tag teams, including a tag team championship team. 2 tag team championship teams, actually. They both were.
Yeah.
To then have the Lonely Virgin end up alone again. And I don't really have like a...
No, he's not alone again. He's back with his real friends. With the horse girl and the double jerkin.
But like they... A, what was the point? Because everybody ended up exactly where they started. And B, they were bad friends. Like, part of why I couldn't get invested in this, other than the fact that it was poorly told, I was like, they're bad friends to him. Like, they're like, she's cheating on you, and then she's not. And they're like, we're going to break into her office, and you're a dumb nerd who can't get laid. I'm like, they're shitty friends to this guy. And then Kiana, who's supposed to be the heel, is like, I don't assume that we're in a relationship after we go on one date and you don't call me for a week. Also, I'm a career woman. Also, I'm smart and I'm not going to put my bar on the line for no reason. Like, everything about this that was supposed to get me invested on opposite sides of things has not worked because I'm like, they're terrible friends to him. I don't think he should be dressing like Eurotrash necessarily and changing who he is for a woman. But at the end of this, everybody just ends up where they started. And also, like, how easily swayed back to the other side you are. Look at your life. Look at your choices. Slow down. Evaluate for a minute. You don't have to do it in the heat of battle in a wrestling ring all the time. Just relax.
So this all got us back to square one. Because the beginning of this, if you'll remember, Kiana hated Double Vest in the Beach. She hated Horse Girl. She was trying to buy their bar off from under them or whatever. And there was a trio, a triumvirate. There was Double Vest in the Beach and there was Horse Girl, and they were inseparable. And so you did all of this to just get us back to where we started. What a colossal waste of time and energy and TV time that could have been used for literally anything else.
And also, Alex, who was the real heel in this? Kiana James. Who did not get their comeuppance in this?
Kiana James.
Kiana James. After like 6 months. 6 months! Kiana James was being built as the heel in this. She didn't get her comeuppance at all. This makes no sense. This was really, really, really poorly done. Really, really poorly done. And it's a shame because I think like Kiana James is actually pretty good in the ring. To what end? The magic words. Yeah, I mean, I think the smartest person in this whole thing is probably the horse lawyer who overcame the odds of being a horse, which usually you have like one job, basically to eat hay. And then when someone's like, hey, I want to go for a ride, you're like, all right, hop on my back. No, that horse went to law school. That horse passed the bar in who knows how many states and then became a contract advisor.
Did this, before tonight, did this feel like a blow-off match to you?
A rushed one.
It didn't. It felt like the first chapter in this feud, right? Eventually, we gotta get Beach versus Double Vest. That's gotta be a thing.
Yes, of course. Like,
right?
As singles,
like, and him trying to wake up, man. She doesn't care about you. And eventually, what happened at the end tonight is what you do. But you do it after a number of things.
It took out all these intermediate steps.
You do all these other chapters.
But
Kiana
this has
James
been drawn out
drafted.
so long.
Kiana James is getting drafted.
Oh,
Kiana
maybe.
James is getting drafted.
Maybe.
That's
she's
what
great.
this feels.
She's
She's great, and she'll do fine. I don't know what gimmick they're going to give her up on the main roster. Like, like she's a perfect somebody who could be somebody who gets taken under the wing by somebody like a Sonya Deville or something. She's perfectly for that type of person you could do that with very easily.
Wow,
This
I don't know,
feels
Alex.
like
Maybe support sex workers. Porn accountants can be on the main roster too.
I don't like the idea of Vince utilizing that gimmick properly.
No, really? How come?
But it does feel like Vince saw a photo of Kiana James and said, I want her. He's done that a lot in the past and have no idea if they can go or not or what, and just says, this is it. We're doing this. So we'll see what happens. But this feels like this was the beginning of something, and now it became the end of something real fast.
She also stylistically, I think, could be really good. Like one thing I'm hoping for, and I know it's not going to happen probably, but I'll always hope for it, is like maybe now that the titles are on Liv and Raquel, and they've been a team for more than 3 weeks, maybe they're going to try and create a division in the tag team division. Kiana stylistically, I think, is someone who could do a lot of fun work with some of the women that are up there. Like I think you can pair her with someone, because she lays her shit in. Like she's pretty strong.
Luis says, hear me out. Kiana joins Chelsea, Sonya, and Carmella. That could be a really fun little faction if you wanted to put them together, or any of them she could team with.
I don't hate it, but I do like that she's pretty aggressive in the ring. Like I don't want her to lose that. But I guess Sonya is when she's getting reps. Like when Sonya's good, she's real good.
Jambeard says Kiana can be the manager for Team Green DeVille. I don't think they need a manager. I think Kiana can actually go.
They have to speak to the manager.
Right.
That's the gimmick.
Very good. Yeah, I hate everything about this Orbital promo. Luis says he looked like a bootleg Angel Garza, which pissed me off as a Reggio. And Orion Ben says all HBK was to follow the Team Kalex script. No, he says. Kate and Alex had the Hallmark meets Lifetime movie script down. This doesn't make MST3K now. It's so bad. Yes, I agree.
They really did with the bar on the line.
It was a very easy
right
thing
around
to do,
Christmas
but they did it wrong.
time.
Jambeard says, why do I have a bad feeling that JC is going to get Gigi's brother eventually to turn on Gigi due to love?
Well, because of all the evidence you have to support that idea. I think he's pretty young, though.
I don't know how old he is. I don't know how old he. Yeah. So now we have to talk about the fact that after Mackenzie interviewed Dragon Lee, appearing on a screen behind her was Scripps in the rain, apparently in Gotham City, perched on a gargoyle.
I was so happy. I tuned in like halfway through Double Jerkin. Versus what were we calling the other team?
No, it's sorry, it was Horse Jerkin versus Beja State.
Beja State, yes, excuse me.
Yeah.
I tuned in like halfway through that, and then I think I was doing something. I was like settling my dog in, and I came back to my laptop, and then bam, I got to see my scripts. I was very excited about it. Bat scripts. Scripts, man.
I am the Batman. I am the Batman.
Your work seemed very inspired today.
So I decided. I went up to HBK and I said, "Listen, I think we're doing this whole thing all wrong. I think the flippy things is fun, but what if I was literally Batman? What if I was Batman and HBK was like, you know what? I like it. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it plays." So they were like, "Why don't you go out and we'll send you out into downtown Orlando. We'll put you up on top of a skyscraper. Make sure it's raining. Make sure there's lots of lightning and thunder in the area."
Well, they've always said Gotham is Orlando.
Yeah. And So anyway, so then I was like, I'm like, I like it. And they were like, well, here's your monologue. from the Batman movie, and why don't you try this out? And so I was like, okay, so we recorded it. They didn't use it tonight. I have a feeling they're going to use it next week, though. So here we go. The city streets are crowded for the holiday. Even with the rain, hidden in the chaos is the element waiting to strike like snakes. And I'm there too, watching. They think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows. I wish I could say I'm making a difference, but I don't know. Murder, robberies, assault. 2 years later, they're all up. And now the city's eating itself. Maybe it can't be saved, but I have to try. These nights all roll together in a rush behind the mask. Sometimes in the morning, I have to force myself to remember everything that happened. That's a monologue from the beginning of the Batman.
I think everyone will be completely blown away by it, that they're not going to be like, that's unoriginal.
Wait till you see the nipples on the bat suit, because I mean they're protruding. It's pretty amazing. Like Joel Schumacher, eat your heart out.
Wow,
that's all I got to say.
Wow, what about Matt Menard?
I mean, I don't do the crossover thing on the other shows. So
fair enough. Fair enough. Jay Beard saying because he's the hero NXT deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him because he can take it.
That's right.
Thanks for getting those super chats in. We always appreciate that, Scripps. You're a draw. You're a proven draw. You can tell Shawn Michaels that.
It's true. Listen, I think, I mean, I don't know if that Michael Keaton fella, if he wants to keep doing Flash movies after this one, but if there's going to be a Flash 2, Flash 3, and listen, with how hot that Ezra Miller character is right now, I think they're going to do at least 5 or 6 Flash movies. If the Michael Keaton fella, if he wants to stop doing them, I'll step right in there. I'm pretty sure I can fit in the costume and everything.
Alex Pulowski, who does the show, big Michael Keaton guy.
Michael really? Guy. Yeah, no, he's definitely the second best Batman. I am the first best.
Of course, yeah, no, that story tracks.
Yep.
I don't want to. I never want you to feel like any pressure when you come on here to give us scoops, but it would be journalistic negligence for me not to ask if there's anybody in NXT that you've pitched as Alfred for this.
Alfred? Well, obviously Axiom is my Joker. He's gonna take the mask off. He's gonna be painted up like a clown. It's gonna be great. What an amazing reveal! Oops, I shouldn't have given you that scoop.
Oh my goodness!
He's just all of it's gonna be laughing.
I'm gonna text Sean right now.
Yep.
It's gonna go up on Fightful Select.
All right. Well, just make sure I get credit for it. Actually, make sure I don't get credit for it.
No, an anonymous source.
Because anonymous source. That's me. Anonymously sources. That's me.
What? You're not going to tell us about Alfred, though?
Alfred, I don't know. Let's see. Somebody really old. I think they're going to re-sign Bobby Fish.
Ooh, Bobby Fish is Alfred. I can see it.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, I think it's a great fit. Where's the lie?
Yeah, no. Where is the lie?
Where's the lie?
Where is the Batcave? I don't know. They still won't tell me where the Batcave is.
Well, they have a track record of not necessarily giving you precise locations for things, Script.
That's exactly like somebody send me the Google Maps link.
Yeah, just share a location.
Yep.
It's not that hard. Well, this is a very exciting development. I was very happy to see it. We're always happy to have you on the show. Yep. Thanks for all the scoops.
You're welcome. All right, I see the bat signal. Gotta go and investigate.
All right.
I hear the Riddler's on a crime spree.
Oh,
wink,
no.
Wink, wink. Anyway, I'll be going. All right. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye. Thanks for stopping by.
What happened?
I never had Scrappers pegged as like a wink, wink type dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's Batman. Did you know that?
Well, Scripps is Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious from the show tonight.
I got some scoops.
Jam Beard says Johnny Sate is Alfred.
See him?
He is. He's definitely old and British. It works. Luis says, "Holy shit, he is still on the WWE payroll." LMAO. Well, there you go. Perfect. Hey, so there's a guy named Femi, and he throws things very far.
Nobody knows how to say his name.
He's a shot putter. No, Vic Joseph does.
Yeah, Booker T does not.
Oboe Fema, that is what he called him. A woodwind instrument, and also the Federal Emergency Management Authority, I believe is what it stands for.
Mm-hmm.
Oboe Fema is what he was called by Booker T this evening.
He sure was.
Alex,
why is he shot putting furniture?
Well, I mean, he just show how strong he is.
But like, can't he be like, I bench X weight? Why does he got to be launching couches?
I don't know. It's a thing. They think it's fun. Anyway, so then he beats Oro Mensah. Remember him? Remember how he was like
Oro Messiah?
Yeah, he was the one of 5 guys in that NXT ladder match.
But he was not a part of just 5 guys. That's New Japan.
No. He has been wrestling exclusively on Level Up. He got grandfathered into that ladder match for the North American title after
he did.
After Solo Sikoa had to vacate it because they had already taped the match where he won his debut match. And then after the fact, they made that a qualifying match to be in the ladder match. And I believe he has not won another match on NXT since he won his debut match.
No, I don't think he has either.
He definitely didn't win tonight because Obafemi slung that son of a bitch all over the ring.
Whee!
And then does a pop-up power bomb, like kneeling power bomb that looked really cool.
That was really cool.
Obafemi is already 5 times better than Omos.
Minimum.
After one match, is at least 5 times better than Omos. At least. Do you know how much more interested I would be in watching Seth Rollins versus Obafemi than I am versus watching him versus Omos?
I can't get into what they're not doing with Seth Rollins right now.
Yeah.
Sad.
Ali Cease says Femi, Femme. Obafem. No. Also, it's very true. Obafemi is a much better presentation of One Night than Von Wagner. He's so much better than Von Wagner already.
Yeah, he's great.
Yep.
What we saw tonight.
Mm-hmm. Jambeard says, speaking of Bobby Fish, did you know he was there when the Bat was first discovered? Not the Batman, but like the Bat, like
just
the actual
a bat
mammal.
Yeah.
Bat. Yeah, exactly. So the women's championship match started like at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. on the nose.
And this did feel like a certain title change going into it, even though Indi had a really good little promo in a mirror about how, this reign might end one day, but not tonight.
Correct.
Kind of a thing. It was a nice little promo. I thought she was losing and being called up to like reunite with Candice LeRae and start the tag division over,
So did I.
I definitely thought she was losing when Tiffany Stratton did a swanton to the outside, and in attempting to catch her, Indi's right leg buckled underneath her. It looked like the moment looked very similar to what happened to Dante Martin. I was like, oh shit, Indi's done. Out for over
like
a
year. Yeah.
No, not for if she was going to lose the match, then surely she was going to get called up. And I assumed going into the thing that she was going to lose. So her leg buckled right underneath her. She's immediately rolls over and starts unlacing her boot. The medical staff come down. It's just Tiffany and Roxanne. And as as inexperienced still, even though she's great, that Tiffany Stratton is, and as young, even though she is very experienced, she is very young, Roxanne is, and
yeah, she's just not like experienced at being on Earth because she's like 21. Yeah.
To me, definitely not like does not feel to me like the head ref in NXT. Like I've seen that guy ref some matches, but it doesn't feel like he's the guy who always does the big match. Those three put together a decent little match, and I was like, well, I guess we'll see who wins because it ain't gonna be Indi Hartwell, because Indi Hartwell, I thought, had broken her leg in 5 places. Like it looked gruesome. And they took her to the back during the match. And then she ran out from down the ramp and came in, finished the match, pulled Tiffany Stratton off of a pinfall, and won the match. Like Tiffany Stratton hit their big moonsault. She broke up the pin, threw Tiffany Stratton out of the ring, and did her Will Ospreay forearm to the back of the neck thing, and won. And I hope this isn't her now having to give it up because of injury.
I'm nervous that maybe they set her back up because maybe they're calling up Roxanne and Tiffany Stratton, and they were like, well, we can't put it on one of the two of them. So can she hobble down there to retain and then relinquish it later? That looked really bad.
And
really
also,
bad.
After that, Roxanne did a Hurricane Rana off the top where she landed on top of her head. It was awful looking. Like, Jesus. That was...
Yeah, there were a couple scary spots in that.
That was not...
This just went awry, I think. Like that spot happened early enough on.
Right.
And I don't know what was agented, but you're right. They're just still all newer at this.
Right.
And even if you're super experienced, like if the person who's scripted to go over might be injured, you have no idea what the hell's going on with that.
Right.
Then. So I think they did the best they could under the circumstances. I hope Indi's okay because that looked really bad. I was stunned that she came back out because I was like, well,
she was hobbling.
Yeah, she didn't look good, and it didn't look like worked hobbling. It looked like, come on. But yeah, I mean it's unfortunate because it was slated to be the main event. It was a triple threat of 3 of the strongest women in NXT, and if everybody stayed on track in it, it probably would have been really, really, really great. And it wasn't, I don't want to give the impression that it was bad because it wasn't, but it just wasn't what it was obviously supposed to have been.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer about it. I just hope Indi's okay. And I hope Roxanne is after that Hurricane Rana. That was nasty too. But I also thought Tiffany Stratton was going over because I was like, oh, she's wearing gold. That's cute. Like, I thought it was like I had a Tiffany epiphany. I'm going to wear gold and win gold. Like, I thought we were going to be getting a little something like that. But I definitely didn't think Indi was going over. I thought that was the third most likely scenario. I actually don't hate the idea that she would beat them because it kind of solidifies her as a champion in an otherwise kind of unfounded reign.
Oh, I did not believe unless the plan was to call her up. I wouldn't if this had gone on at the 1 hour mark, I would have just thought Indi was retaining.
Yeah.
But because they did all of what they did at the 1 hour mark, including the post-match angle,
because it never felt like Indi should have won the ladder match. Right. It would have made sense if Roxanne had won it for their weird anxiety story, or it would have made sense if Tiffany won it because she's a heel and anybody could chase her and she'd be really great with this. We did get to see her bust out that awesome climbing the ropes move that she does. I love that. But yeah, so it's just a bummer. It's always scary when someone gets injured, and if people are getting called up too in this, you never know what affects the end of it. But just hope Indi's okay and hope that they get to to showcase themselves in a less tumultuous situation.
Yeah, Dijak on Twitter says, if anyone was wondering, I happened to be sitting next to Indi in medical while they were evaluating this gruesome injury mid-match, and she was no-selling the shit out of it like an absolute badass. Well, that doesn't mean anything about the severity of the injury. That means that she was no-selling it.
Tough son of a bitch. Yeah.
She's a tough little cookie, but that could mean that when you actually get it to a local medical facility,
of course,
they're like, oh shit, no, you're done.
Cooked, yeah. And people underestimate too. I don't want to say people underestimate. Why am I saying like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? That's a dumb thing to say. Adrenaline is not just in Cody Rhodes' soul. When you have an injury like that, wrestlers say that like you have no idea. Kyle O'Reilly has said that before. I heard it in interviews where he's like, yeah, you have no idea how injured you are until after the adrenaline wears off, because it's just fighting a match in front of a crowd, like all that. So just
anyway, that's NXT. Jambeard says, if Cora gets called up, a ready-made story would be her coming to help her idol Bayley as the heels against Io and Dakota Kai.
I think Cora's a long way from ready, to be honest. I don't know if they feel that way, but I do. Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, her winning here suggests a Lyra Valkyria call up as opposed to a Cora Jade call up. But
right, yeah, just from the idea she went over today.
JW Pringle says, to all NXT call ups, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. I have no doubt Vince will mess all of them up. Remember to let her daddy cross. We remember.
Oh, we remember.
Okay, a few more puns, and then some jukeboxes. Jesse Ozog says the House of Noir and Godfatherhausen.
Yes, very evil, very evil.
Matthew Plus says the taking of Pelham 123 Kid. Matthew Plus says Breaking Bad fodder. Electric Mayhem says the Macho Man always rings twice. That's a good one. JW Pringle says the world's strongest mafioso, Mark Henry. And Orion Ben also says of scripts. Murder, broken romance, Ventura, Batman. Alex was right. I'm always right. Always, never wrong about anything ever. All right, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? Oh my goodness. There are a few here, and some of them don't have lyrics yet, but we'll do this one first because it's fun. Lord Jackson from New Zealand wants William Regal singing the Pearl Harbor Sucked song from Team America World Police.
Our most watched review ever on Know Your News was our Team America review.
I miss you more than Michael Bay missed the mark when he made Pearl Harbor. I miss you more than that movie missed the point. That's an awful lot, girl. And now you've gone away. And all I'm trying to say is Pearl Harbor sucked. And I miss you. I need you. Like Ben Affleck needs acting school. He was terrible in that film. I need you like Cuba Gooding needed a better part. And he's better than Ben Affleck. And now all I can think about is your smile. And that shitty movie too. Pearl Harbor sucked. And I miss you, Man in the Mask. I miss you so much, girl.
I miss the Man in the Mask relationship with William Regal.
Okay. Do you have a Tiffany in you?
I do, yeah. If you could take it easy, I'll be here on out. But I'll do the ones that are in.
Right. All right. No more Tiffany's.
This one from CO, should I do?
Sure.
All right, we'll do that. I think I've done this before, but it doesn't get old. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen. Give him tulips like roses and clover. Then tell him his lonesome nights are over. Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own. Please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest I've ever seen. Give him the word I'm not a rover. Tell him his lonesome nights are over. Toodles.
Very nice. CO also wants Marlon Brando singing "Wake Me Up Before You Go." I guess this is a new one that now is added to it. You put the boom boom into my heart. You send my soul sky high when your loving starts. Jitterbug into my brain. Yeah. Goes to bang, bang, bang till my feet do the same. Something's bugging me. Something ain't right. My best friend told me what you did last night. Left me sleeping in my bed. I was dreaming, but I should have been with you instead. Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you go. I don't want to miss it when you hit that high. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
These are like my favorite. I love these.
Okay. Jambeard wants Tiffany to sing Mickey, You're So Fine by Tony Basil. Basil? Basil.
Oops. Guys, let's also not speculate on injury until it's confirmed by somewhere or Fightful. I just try to be sensitive to that.
Yeah.
Wait, are you pulling one up, or am I?
No. I was doing Tiffany singing Mickey by Tony Basil.
My bad. Let me pull that up. This is a good one for Tiffany.
It is.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. You've been around all night, and that's a little long. You think you've got it right, but I think you've got it wrong. Why can't you say goodnight so you can take me home, Mickey? Because when you say you will, it always means you won't. You're giving me the chills. Baby, please, baby, don't. Every night you still leave me all alone, Mickey. Toodles.
Very good. Meet Norma says, can Delinder sing Total Eclipse of the Heart? But he wants it to be Total Eclipse of the Meat. Also,
you have to do the whole song?
Apparently. I don't know. There we go. There we go. This is going to be a tough one. Here we go.
I'll do the turnaround.
You want to do the turnarounds?
Sure.
Okay, you do the turnarounds, and then I'll do everything. Oh, there we go. You do the turnarounds.
Turnarounds.
Every now and then I get a little bit lonely, and you're never coming round.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years have gone by. Tell me about it.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart.
And I need you now tonight, right?
I mean, no, that's at the end. This is the full one, apparently. So I need.
More turnarounds. You're turning around more.
There's more turnarounds.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit restless and I dream of something wild.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit helpless and I'm lying like a child in your arms.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit angry and I know I've got to get out and cry.
Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, but then I see the look in your eyes.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart.
Turn around, bright eyes.
Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever, and we'll only be making it right, because we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Your love is like a shadow on me all of the time. I don't know what to do. I'm always in the dark. We're living in a powder keg and giving off sparks. I really need you tonight. Forever's going to start tonight. Forever's going to start too. Once upon a time, I was falling in love. Now I'm only falling apart. There's nothing I could do. A total eclipse of the meat. Once upon a time, there was light in my life, but now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I could say. A total eclipse of the meat.
Nailed it. I remember you singing that at karaoke with husbands number 3 and 7.
All the time. More, all the time.
I like that we got 2 of these. My husband wants to know. I like that both times it's been a husband and both reactions have been, what the fuck?
Okay. So we got a couple of Darbies here. First one, Electric Mayhem says, jukebox for Darby Allin singing Don't Worry, Be Happy. Which is a very Darby-esque song.
Of course.
Here we go. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Malachi Black. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord say your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. Brody King.
I don't know why the Brody King. I think because I expect Malachi Black, and you throw a Brody King in.
You throw a Brody King in there instead.
Just a good day.
It is. Okay. Here we go. One last. Okay. Jambeard says Regal to sing Laser Shooting Dinosaurs by Angus Messix. Angus Mixix. Angus Mixix, Laser Shooting Dinosaur.
I don't know.
By William Regal.
Here I come. Drop your jaws to the floor. I'm riding on my mighty laser shooting dinosaur. Here we come. Can't you hear him roar? Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, 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 oh. Here I come. Drop your jaws to the floor. I'm riding on my mighty laser shooting dinosaur. Here we blah, 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 blah. Prepare for epic fight at his laser missiles. The sound is boom, boom, boom for every time a goblin dies. Let's sing now. Here we go. Hear my battle cries. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, 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 oh. A monster from the ancient times developed in Tokyo. A bastard of a beast in a war machine, neutralizing every foe. Dino, 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 man of the mask.
Thank you.
It's been a while since we had William stop by the show.
This is going to be really, really hard to do, Vicky, but I'm going to try it for you. This is apparently it's a duet, but it is not delineated as such. Oh wait, this is not what it is. No, that's not it. That's not what. Hold on. Sorry, Luis. Okay.
Do we need to call in a production meeting?
No. Okay.
I can do the one that's highlighted if you want.
It's Captain Sneal. So wait, you do yours. Okay. Tiffany does Cher's debate from Clueless while I figure out how I'm going to do this.
Of course I will. So this is about, should all oppressed people be allowed to refuge in America? Cher's taking the pro position in this monologue. So, okay, like right now, for example, the Haitians need to come to America, but some people are all, what about the strain on our resources? But it's like, when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? I said RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But people came to that like did not RSVP. So I was like totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, redistribute the food, squish in extra place settings. But by the end of the day, it was like the more the merrier. And so if the government could just have a Tiffany epiphany and get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians. And in conclusion, I please remind you that it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Thank you very much. Toodles.
Very good. This is the Love Will Keep Us Together by the Captain and Tennille. Apparently is wants it sung by Joe Coffey and Scripps, which is not possible. Because I'm just going to do a couple of things as Scripps and a couple of things as Joe Coffey, but I won't be able to like go back and forth because that's not how the thing works. So Joe Coffey will start us off. Love will keep us together. Think of me, babe, whenever some sweet token girl comes along singing a song. Don't mess around. You just got to be strong. Just stop, because I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart. Let love keep us together. You belong to me now. I ain't going to set you free now. When those girls start hanging around, talking me down, hear with your heart, and you won't hear a sound. Just stop, because I really love you. Stop. I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever, young and beautiful, but someday your looks will be gone, and when the others turn you off, who will be turning you on? I will. I will be there to share forever. Love will keep us together. I said it before, and I'll say it again. While others pretend I need you now and I need you then, McMahon. That's a feat. I'll tell you that. That
was a good one.
That was hard to do. Okay. All right. Three to end us. Here we go.
All right.
This is okay. I will just tell you the people, and then you will tell me who they are. So what order? So Darby, Linder, or Papa Pulowski?
Darby.
Okay. In honor of Harry Belafonte, who died today. It's Deo, sung by Darby Allin. Deo. Daylight coming, me want to go home. Day, me say day, me say day, me say day, me say day. Me say day-o. Daylight coming, me want to go home, Malachi Black. Work all night on a drink of rum. Daylight coming, me want to go home. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight coming, me want to go home. Come, Mr. Tellyman, Kelly me banana. Daylight coming, me want to go home. Come, Mr. Tellyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want to go home. Come, Mr. Malachi Black, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want to go home. All right, so that's not. All right, two
Linder.
more. Linder. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we're going home on Papa.
Here we go. All right. No. We're going home on Papa. We're going home on Papa. We're going home on Papa. Don't worry about it. We're doing that one. we are doing that one. We're doing that one. Don't get rid of it. We're doing it. Okay, hold on. So I don't know if this is wise. Oh, good. It's the clean version. This is Me So Horny, as sung by Linda, by Jam Beard.
Me so horny. Oh, me so horny. Oh, me so horny. Me love you long time. Sitting at home watching Arsenio Hall, so I got the black book for a freak to call. Picked up the telephone, then dialed the 7 digits, said, yo, this marquee, baby. You down with it? I arrived at her house, knocked on the door, not having no idea of what the night had in store. I'm like a dog in heat, a freak without warning. I have an appetite for love, 'cause me so horny. Oh, me so horny. Oh, me so horny. Oh, me so horny. Me love you long time. Girls always ask me why I bug so much. I say, what's wrong, baby doll, with being a nut? 'Cause my nature was rising. You shouldn't be mad. I won't tell if your mama. If you don't tell your dad, I'll know he'll be disgusted when he sees your clothes all messed up. Won't your mama be so mad if you knew you just been had? I'm a freak, a dog and without warning. My appetite is love, 'cause oh, me so horny.
We all know, Linder.
Thank you. And so finally, Paul Popolowski just will sing the what does the fox say? The dog goes woof, and the cat goes meow, the bird goes tweet, and mouse goes squeak, cow goes moo, frog goes croak, and the elephant goes toot, duck say quack, and fish go blub, and the seal goes ow, 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 but there's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say? Ring a ding ding, the ring ding, the ding ding, the ring a ding, the ding ding, the ding a ding, ring ding ding, the ding ding, the ding a ding, ding ding, ding ding. What the fox say? Wappa pow 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 pow, wappa pow 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 pow, or pow 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 pow. What do the fox say? Hatey, 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 hatey ho, hatey, 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 hatey ho, hatey, 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 hatey ho. What the fox say? Choff, 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 choff. What the fox say? What? That's it. We're done.
Toodles.
Thanks, everybody. Keep
JW
cool,
Brinkle said
gabagools.
that's my new ringtone. Oh, man.
All right. I'm the Batman. Keep cool, gabagools.